You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 13th day of February, 2018. Hope you're having a great Tuesday, whoever you are, wherever you are. And thanks for joining us. We're so glad to have you with us. We are in our second decade of broadcast history. So if you're new to the program, by all means, grab your day planner, pencil us in for the next decade. And we look forward to seeing you here. For those of you that are returning today, welcome back. And to those who are here for the first time, we extend a very special and warm CFRN welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. If you cannot see the chart that is up, that means when Michael pops in just a moment to do a recap of what happened in the live training room, you won't be able to see his charts. So we can fix that. Go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that registration is good all the way through the end of the month. You only have to register once a month. Do it at the first of the month, you're good for the whole month. The other approach, go to youtube.com youtube.com/CFRN/live. We provide a live stream on YouTube every day during the broadcast. If you go there and bookmark that page, you will have one-click access to the show each and every day. Fair enough? Fantastic. Michael is doing a webinar this afternoon, the regular Tuesday afternoon webinar for those who are new partners, or more importantly, I think, for those who are currently on the trial and evaluating whether our methodology is exactly what you've been looking for. If you're looking for, parlor tricks, we don't have any. If you actually want to learn how to trade, that's what we do. And that's what we've been doing for a number of years. And that's what we'll help you with if you're ready to take that step. Let's look at the numbers real quick around the world, and then we'll go to Michael. And then I'll be back with all the other stuff and all that jazz. All right. In the U.S., these are the cash markets. We'll get to the futures in a bit. Currently, the Dow is down 100 points. NASDAQ is down 1 3/4 points. S&P 500 is down almost 5 points. And the Russell 2000 is down 3 points. Quiet day, but clearly a red day. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 21 cents, trading 59.08 last. Gold is up $4.40, trading 13.30.80 last. In the Asian markets today, at the close, the Nikkei got hit hard again today, down 137 points. That's a little more than half of 1%. The Shanghai was positive by 31 points, which is exactly 1%. The Hang Seng was up 379 points, which is 1.25%. So mixed day in Asia due to the Nikkei. Now in the European markets, red is also color of the day there. FTSE closed down 9 points. The DAX down 86 points, which is 0.75%. And the CAC down 31 points at the close, and that's a little more than half of 1%. Mixed in Asia, red in Europe, and so far still red here at home. Oh, the NASDAQ just went positive by 1.5 points. Again, those are the cash markets, and we'll delve into the futures here in just a bit. But first, we're going to go to Michael so that he can come in and give us a recap of the live training room and get that done before his webinar starts at, I think it's 1 or 1:15. He'll give you all that information when he pops in.
Yeah, it's 1:15.
Okay, there you go.
PM Eastern.
And you're going to put the link in the chat box, or is that how you do it?
I will do all that.
All that jazz. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance on break to plug directly into the cable modem?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay.
A friend of mine had surgery. Just got out of surgery. And she's okay. So that's good. Good news. Anyway, everything's still working. It's just there are times when I try to open up a web page and it just says this cannot be, web page cannot be opened. And then I wait a minute and it opens it up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something going on there. And you're probably right with the packets lost kind of business.
It's just like a checklist you go through to try to, well, let's see, at a crime, what do they call it, when the husband says, the wife's, been shot, and the husband goes, you think I'm a suspect? And what do they say? We're trying to eliminate suspects, right?
Yes,
that's
eliminate.
Clever, yeah. Oh, no.
Eliminate suspects.
Yeah, we want to make sure that, nobody bugs you later. Just give us your DNA. Because something like more than 50% of the time, if a husband or wife dies, the spouse did it.
Yeah. Those DNA things that they have online, your ancestry.
23andMe. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think my sister-in-law did one of those. But anyway.
I just think that's the way. I think it's a government-funded thing.
Oh, to collect everybody's DNA. Yeah.
Everybody's DNA.
Right. Yeah. No, I I
I totally
agree. Yeah. I mean, they took the mark of the beast and sold it to us as a convenience and called it an ATM card, a credit card. I mean, come on. I'm just kidding, guys. I mean, I don't know. Some of you might go, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's YouTube
not only
videos.
that, they gave us cell phones with GPS.
Right. It's a true story. All right, buddy. I'll hit mute.
All right.
Turn it over to you.
Okay. I'm getting into it. Enough conspiracy theories. All right. Here we go, everyone. Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, the 13th day of February, 2018. If you have not taken a free trial with us, you need to simply go to the homepage at cfrn.net. And right up here at the top, where it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room 100% free trial, user indicators on our strategy, click here. When you click there, you will be sent to this page. I have to sneeze, so I may have to pause here in a minute. You'll be sent to this page where I'll ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. And hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Okay, you must click on that confirmation link. If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay, so you have to hit that confirmation link. All right. Now, today, this is the spreadsheet for today. As I said, today is the 13th day of February 2018. We had 6 ticks on the euro, lost a tick on crude, made a tick on gold, and we made 20 ticks on the ES. That puts us at 287.50. 287.50 on the morning. Today it took 7 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $250. That was 20 ticks here on the ES on that one trade. Okay. Today we took a total of 11 trade opportunities. So on the month now, we're at $2,843. That's over 8 days, averaging $355 per trade. On the year now, we're at $5,362. That's over 27 days, averaging $198 per day. Okay. Minimize that, and we'll go through what happened today. All right, not a lot going on here on gold for us today. We had one trade right here that we actually got into, and we got 1 tick on it. And pulled all the way back down here, disqualifying trades. Moved all the way up here, given a momentum trade. Then the cycle was going down too steep, and we just didn't have any more opportunity. Even during the break, there was nothing. So we had this 1 tick right here, and a couple of ticks right here that you could have gotten. That was all there was for opportunity on the gold. Okay. All right. Jump to the euro. Yes, jumping to the euro. It's reloading right now. And taking forever. But there we go. All right. So on the euro, we started out here. Let's see. We started out here. We made 4 ticks on the first one. We made 8 ticks on the second one, putting us at plus 12. We missed the third one. Then it bumped around a little bit. There was a long opportunity right over here that we missed, and a short here and a short here we missed. Both nice trades, those shorts. We did jump into this one, and it stopped us out. So at that point, we were back down to plus 4. Okay, we had a break even here and a plus 2 there to get us up to plus 6. During the break, it was just a mess right in here. There was nothing, no trade setups at all. So we ended with plus 6. Wow. I was just saying wow because we have a nice trend. But on crude, we started out right here with a stop out on crude. Now, looks like we missed a long trade right there. Yeah, we missed a long trade right there. And then we stopped out here, minus 8 ticks on crude. It bounced around a little bit, but didn't give us any trade opportunities until way over here. Right here, we picked up 7 ticks, putting us at minus 1 on crude. Okay, we missed a follow-up trade right there. And then on the long side, one there and one there. And during the break, it looks like a long right there. And that's it. And that's it for the crude. Okay. On the ES, let's see. I'm going to back the ES out a little bit so we can see more of it at once. Okay. On the ES, we had a break even right there. Then this is where we got our goal for the day right here. We picked up 20 ticks on that one trade, and we had a break even right there. Okay, now looking over the rest of it, looks like there was a shorting opportunity right there. Then you would have needed a lower swing. It switched directions, then it came back. Then another shorting opportunity right there. Then you can see I highlighted all these along there, along there, along there, a short there, a short here. This one didn't work out. Okay, all those worked out, and that one, but this one didn't work out. A short here, that was nice. Another short here, that worked out well. Change directions along here, that would have given you break even at the worst. This volatility in the ES is just killing me. I'm not used to it. I mean, the ES, when we go back to the spreadsheet here in just a minute, the ES has been our highest performer this month. We're into the break. Nothing in there. Okay, change directions again. And it's just a mess right now. But it did give us good opportunity. You know, I only got 20 ticks, but there was more than that, much more than that available on the ES today. Okay. Yeah, so let's go back here to the spreadsheet. Now, this column right here is the ES. $1,550 so far this month on the ES. And that's over 8 days. If you look at all the other ones, if you add all the other ones up, they're less than the ES right now. So this volatility that we're getting for the last week and 2 days on the ES is just great. It's like the good old days. Remember those good old days, Dwayne? These are the good old days. All right. Today, as I said, is the 13th day of February, 2018. We made 6 ticks on the euro. We lost a tick on crude. We made a tick on gold and made 20 ticks on the ES. Today, it took 7 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $250 a contract. And we took a total of 11 trade opportunities today. So on the month now, we're up $2,843. That's over 8 days, averaging $355 a day. And on the year, we're up $5,362. That's over 27 days, averaging $192 a day. That's on the year and the month. Okay. If you have not taken our free trial and you want to take our free trial, go to the home page here at CFRN.net where it says sign up for the CFRN Live Trading Room, 100% free trial, user indicators on our strategy. Click here. Click there, and you'll be brought to this page right here, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us, and hit the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know you took the trial. So click that link. All right? All right. And with that, we can head back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. You see this big pullback right here. In the meeting this afternoon at 1:15, I will show people how they can benefit from that. I think. Put the brown line on. I gotta. Oh, nope, not quite. Anyway, There is a meeting this afternoon that I'm going to be hosting at 1:15. Can somebody type something in so I can post the link to it in here? Just type in a Y or an N or your social security number or anything. Thanks. Hang on. Let me post the link. Now I have the link right here. This is at 1:15 this afternoon. Okay. Paste. This 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time. There you go. That is the link to get into the meeting this afternoon. In that meeting this afternoon, I will be going over other trade setups. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I have that page open right now. Doesn't look like it. Here in the handout section, right now, I am going to post two things. Good Lord, why is it taking so long? In the handout section right now, I'm going to post two things that normally just load right up. And right now, for some reason, it's not loading up. And whoever that is, I cannot answer the call. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do it a different way then. Since it does not seem to be loading up the handout section.
You need me to go and grab it and put it in the chat box?
Nope. It just loaded up. Okay. There are. It says, we apologize, but an error has occurred. Please try again. It went to 100% and then it said that. But anyway, oops, not that. This right here, these are the trade setups that we're going to go over this afternoon. Okay. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, go ahead right now. I'll try to load it up again. And it looks like it's having the same problem. That's weird that the go to webinar gives me the error message inside the little box. I don't know what's going on. But I'll try to drag and drop it. Maybe that'll be different. No, that's not different at all. Alright, well these are the trade setups that I'm going to go after this afternoon. Okay, the 137, the inverted 137, the 164, and the 128. And those numbers all refer to workshop numbers. This screenshot is the Russell 2000 from way back when it was the RLM. Before it went to ICE and came back from ICE, it was 2014. We're at workshop number, I think, 332 now, and these numbers refer to workshop numbers, so it goes all the way back to 128. So these trades have been around for years, and if you guys don't know them, if you're partners and you have the indicator set, and you don't know the trade setups, then it's worth coming to the meeting. Okay, and that's it. With that, I will pass it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Alrighty. Yeah, I didn't see that you'd already put it in the chat box. So there's two ways to get there. There's this direct link, and there's the meeting ID. So if you're on a cell phone, I think the meeting ID thing might work better. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, you can go there.
Yeah.
Either way.
Now, if you're listening through the live stream on YouTube, I can't get over there to post the link in that chat box at the moment, so just send an email to support@cfrn.net, and Michael will email the link to you.
I will be happy to do that.
Yes, he will. Alrighty, recap of the recap.
Today it took 2 trades in 7 minutes And at that point, we were up $250 a contract.
Good job.
I'm telling you, the ES is killing it lately. Just these last couple of weeks are like way back in the beginning, where it's. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it can't be simple.
Nope.
But it can't be simple.
No easy button in the world of trading.
When we have good volatility, we have good results. And that's pretty much the story right there.
Okay.
See, we just had a bounce off the BBC right here. That's enough right there to get your goal for the day. 47.50 down to 45.50. Bing. If you had 10 contracts, right there, $1,000. Simple as that. Simple. Not easy, but simple. You gotta learn the trade setups first. All right.
All right. I just need to forward this email out of here.
Okay.
Really quick.
And you need to take the charts too.
Yeah, I got to do that too. Alright, let me get the charts. The world is waiting. Get the charts, dude. Right. There we go. There we go.
Right, it's starting to go over.
It's done. Yeah, you got to really check out your computer, man. Something's up because your responses are lagging. It's definitely. It could be your computer, but it could be internet too.
I'm thinking it's the data provider is what I'm thinking.
Have you ran a speed test?
Yeah, I have. And the upload speed is really, well, I mean, it's like 5, which is what I get from the hotels. And no, that's pretty slow.
What are you paying for?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Jada does all that. So I'll have to find out.
Okay.
But it's through Charter.
Alrighty.
And other things in the house are messing up too, it seems like. So it's probably the data provider.
What do you mean by other things? The stove, the refrigerator?
TV. Stuff like that. Because we have DirecTV, and that goes through the internet. Goes through Wi-Fi.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Now you got to get ready for the.
Yeah, the 1:15.
1:15 meeting, and you gave everybody instructions, so.
I did.
Jolly good.
All right. All right. So I see your charts.
All right.
You have the
Very
column.
good. All right. Thanks so much.
All right. See you.
Okay. Well, out there in the big wide world, stuff's happening. And at Whole Foods, it's all about a riot. Not only are the now this is all, come about post-merger or post-buyout, and employees are weeping, and the suppliers are screaming, and they're both calling it hellacious. That's a bold word, hellacious. We don't use that much. Note to self: use hellacious more. All right. What is the problem? Let's see if we can straighten them out. Whole Foods is changing the way it does business with suppliers. We talked about the empty shelves and the weeping employees a couple weeks ago. Now it's the other side of the supply chain, because the employees, they're effective in, like, well, you would typically call it the last mile. which is a big deal in the delivery of services and utilities. But inside of a Whole Foods store, I guess, it's more like the last 10 yards. But anyway, Whole Foods changing the way it does business with suppliers, and some local and regional brands say it's having a crippling impact on their business. This is a problem when who would not want Amazon or Whole Foods as their customer? Everybody. But if you tick that one customer off, or if that one customer goes under, who represents 70, 80, 90, 100% of your business, that's not good. Nelson Rockefeller said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, and if you, well, he said, if you do, you better hang on to that basket. The grocery chain is charging brands more money for prime shelf space and in-store product demonstrations and taste tests, while also requiring them to pay ongoing fees to third-party companies for food safety audits and photographs of their products. Whole Foods has also dropped minimum shipment guidelines that prevented stores from making tiny orders of just one or two cases of goods, and stopped paying shipping fees for some goods, according to a company email. Several suppliers told Business Insider that they were losing money on shipments as a result. 2 suppliers said they had refused to fill orders when the shipping cost exceeded the cost of their goods. Now this is quite a segue. We talked about Amazon going into the shipping business. They're going to compete head on with UPS and Federal Express. The changes are part of an effort by Whole Foods to cut costs and streamline product merchandising across its stores. But they are leading to confusion and unrest among some of Whole Foods' suppliers, according to interviews with 8 vendors and 2 brokers who collectively represent more than a dozen other brands. Some are considering cutting ties with Whole Foods as a result. They have ticked off their employees, edited for Family Radio. They have ticked off customers, and now they have ticked off their vendors. From a financial perspective, we can only take so much abuse before we say, this just isn't working for us anymore. The Whole Foods spokeswoman, Brooke Buchanan, would not respond to requests for comments. Among the new rules at Whole Foods is a requirement that suppliers selling the grocer more than $300,000 of goods annually must discount their products by 3 to 5%. Wow. Jeff's really got some moxie there, edited for Family Radio. Brands must also now pay fees to Damon Worldwide, a Connecticut retail consulting firm, to schedule in-store product demonstrations, which are always fun on like a Saturday afternoon. Take the family, and instead of going out to lunch, you go to Costco, and you just stroll around and nosh, Oh, some shrimp? Yes. Oh, little miniature burritos? I'll have 2, please. Well, you can only have 1. Okay, I'll come back around. You can eat all afternoon for free, but maybe that's going to go away. Because if Amazon can get away with charging for these people to come in and set up their demonstration to sell their product through the Amazon store, Whole Foods, so that Amazon can make a profit. So now people are being charged a fee to help Amazon make money. Whoa. Something sounds off. Or maybe Jeff is just changing the way the grocery world does business. Whole Foods is raising its rates for prime eye-level shelf space as well. Now, these product administrators, they typically tend to be, not always, but typically retired or nearing retirement aged ladies, but some men. And it's a job where they don't work a 40-hour week, but they might get 8 hours on a Saturday and maybe a few hours on a Sunday. I mean, it's it's going to cut into their pockets. Oh, Jeff. Every one of the suppliers that was willing to speak with Business Insider, some would not speak with them because they feared retribution. Said Whole Foods new fees and other changes benefited larger brands that could more easily absorb extra cost. Larger brands like Annie's Homegrown, which is owned by the snack food behemoth General Mills, can more easily pay to get prime shelf space. Now, that in itself is an interesting story. We won't go into it today, but I did not know this. I learn something every day on this show. Larger brands like Annie's Homegrown. Have you ever seen packaging from Annie's Homegrown? I have, because we used to have a Fresh Foods up, or Fresh and Easy up on the corner, and of course we've been to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, and my wife likes to shop in those different places. But I have seen, in fact, I have in our cupboard some kind of snacks, cookies, something from Annie's Homegrown. Now, typically a well-known General Mills product, like, I don't know, what were those, the cereal that the Olympic athletes and the baseball players eat, and they get their picture. I mean, it's a package, right? That Wheaties. Cereal is a package. Yeah, Wheaties. Did you have your Wheaties? Right. I mean, that's the kind of packaging that General Mills is capable of turning out. But this Annie's Homegrown, it looks like Annie's Homegrown. I mean, it looks like, you could picture, you look at the package and you picture some mom or grandma struggling in her kitchen, to keep up with all the orders, while her nephew and grandson try to put cookies in the box or something, right? These are all images that come to us now thanks to our good friends over at Shark Tank. So you go in and you go, it's probably very nutritious, probably doesn't have bad stuff, because, I mean, Annie wouldn't poison us, would she? Well, Annie is General Mills. Now, I'm sure by law it has to say that somewhere on the package. Or maybe not. I'll be down inspecting my box of stack crackers after the show. I don't like them, but I think the kids eat them. All right, Annie is launching products at an explosive rate. No. Who is? Yeah, that's right, General Mills. A wolf in sheep's clothing, you say? Oh, come on, that's harsh. It's a whole new level of challenge for small brands. It's either go big or go home. Hasn't it always been that way? I guess not. Whole Foods has long been seen by customers as a destination for discovering new and local brands. Oh, see, here comes the trickery and the chicanery. That's largely because Whole Foods gave its store-level buyers ample freedom to decide what to stock on their shelves. As a result, small vendors could work their way into Whole Foods by striking up a relationship with local buyers. How many times have we heard that story on Shark Tank? On the old episodes, not anymore, I guess. But they'd get into one Whole Foods, and then they'd get picked up by the region, and then pretty soon nationally, it means they're in every store. That system is changing as Whole Foods' global headquarters in Austin, Texas, takes on more power to decide what to sell in the actual stores. It's getting harder and harder for small brands to get into Whole Foods now, and if they can even afford to get in, right, they can't afford the premium shelf space that Annie can. But see, Annie can because she's a very frugal lady. A customer in the Portland area says, I once drove to every Whole Foods store in the Portland area and dropped off jars of our nut butters for the stores to sell. That's over. That's done. That's never going to happen again. He was the founder of Elliot's Adult Nut Butters. Wonder why, what's the adult part? Cantor said conventional grocers like Kroger and Safeway, which are growing their selections of organic, natural, and local food brands, were welcoming brands like his that had begun to find a massive barrier to entry at Whole Foods. The consulting firm, Whole Foods consulting firm, the one that's now going to charge the product demonstrators to come in and give you snacks on Saturday afternoon, said local products are still vital to Whole Foods' business model. The grocer, he said, is just charging them for the labor it costs to move products around during demonstrations. You know, well, we've all seen them in the middle of the aisle. There's no move afoot to keep these vendors out of the stores, he said. Whole Foods stopped covering shipping fees and dropped minimum shipping requirements in March of 2016 for its whole body department, which includes vitamins, supplements, and beauty products. About a year later, Whole Foods started rolling out an order-to-shelf inventory management system that cut back drastically on the storage each store needed. As a result, stores started making smaller and more frequent orders. Now, that's more costly to the vendor. Small vendors with limited distribution centers often end up paying more in shipping expenses on small orders than the products cost. So some have stopped fulfilling the Whole Foods orders. When you're only a small company distributing from one facility in the Pacific Northwest, and there's a store in Boca Raton that wants 1 unit, and it costs $12 to ship that 1 unit, and Whole Foods is paying us $8 for that product on the invoice, you're losing money. One vendor said, we're taking the resources we used to spend on trying to support sales in Whole Foods and shifting them to our online business. Another whole body vendor described reassessing the relationship. Good, bail. That's what they want you to do. Can't you see they're trying to drive you out? Let's see, Rosenberg, Sherryville Farms is shifting resources from Whole Foods as well. Their company is launching a new snack, and while she would usually give the new product exclusively to Whole Foods for at least 6 months, she's now going direct to consumers and launching it online instead. Okay, she's going to launch it online. I can only imagine that you'll be able to buy it through the Amazon store. This is getting ugly. Okay, the employees are crying, the vendors are screaming, and wow. Whole Foods last year invited suppliers to a meeting at Oregon State University and announced that to continue supplying goods to Whole Foods, all vendors would have to start using and pay fees to 2 outside companies, UL Everclean and IX1. UL Everclean is a food safety auditor, and IX1 takes photographs of suppliers' products. Both charge ongoing fees. Now, I wonder who owns these companies. IX-1 ONE. I guess if you look at that as a Roman numeral, it would be 9-1. Well, charges $500 annually and $169 for initial photographs of a product, plus an additional $15 annually per product for suppliers of fewer than 300 different items. Anytime a product is updated, suppliers have to pay the $169 fee again. Both cost a ton of money and time. Whole Foods said you have a year to get this done. It's like communism. For a small vendor to go through this is a hellacious, horrible time and financial burden. Oh, Jeff, you don't pass the sniff test on this one. Now, I knew we disagreed politically and morally, but from a business standpoint, I've always admired what you've done and the manner in which you've done it. You've been a hard worker. If something needed to be done and there was no one else to do it, I've seen pictures of you down putting stuff on. Yes, I know that could be a publicity thing, but I believed in you, Jeff. You were a rocket boy to me. All right, so we're gonna write that off. I'm not going back to Whole Foods. That's not good. I mean, they really are out to take over the world. Now, Google had what was their saying? Do no harm, or do no evil. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Do no evil. Okay. see what you guys have put in the chat box. Looks like there's a whole lot of stuff. What's the easiest way to send you my Ether wallet address? Frederick, please send that to support@christiantraders.com. Fuad, how about go quality, go honesty, go fairness? Yeah, absolutely. Large centralized distribution businesses destroy small holders and limit diversity of product, especially quality products. Margins are not everything. Amazon is an antitrust case waiting to happen. You know, I was just thinking that. I mean, they're getting their finger into so many pies. I mean, now he bought that one newspaper, but I don't know of any other forays into the world of media. If he started buying up TV networks and radio stations, that would be a real concern. No one really, I don't think. Well, I think Wayne Jett has a theory on why he bought the newspaper, but maybe he just wanted to own a newspaper. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. That was well said, Fuad. It's an antitrust case waiting to happen. But he probably he's going into the legal business. That may be so. I don't know. It's all very, very confusing. Don't you think? All right. Let's. Oh. Do you hear about the Russian nuclear scientist? No. Where's John? Hate to have to repeat this. Oh well, I'll just have to repeat it. Russian nuclear scientists got busted mining Bitcoin using their work supercomputers. Now that really got me to thinking, because they've estimated that it will take until 2040, I believe, the year 2040, before the last Bitcoin is mined. Now, once that happens, of course, then the mining equipment, I don't know that it necessarily becomes obsolete, but it would have to retrofit it for some other type of cryptocurrency, perhaps. But these countries that are building these huge, massive centers for mining, Japan, SoftBank, they spent, I forget what the number was, we talked about it on the show, to buy all this equipment to start this huge mining conglomerate in Japan, knowing that their business is not a business that is going to live forever mining Bitcoin. It may be mining something else, or they'll, like I say, retrofit all the computer equipment to do some other task. John McAfee, says that he owns the largest mining operation in America. But you always got to wonder just a little bit when he starts to talk. But back to the Russians. Okay. No. Where's my article? Houston, we have a problem. Why? Let me check something. Hey, we have a chat room now over on, I mean to tell you this, cryptodailyinfo.com. If you go there, you probably won't find anybody because it's brand new and we haven't even, this is the first time I think I've mentioned it. It's in the bottom right hand corner of the page. I haven't used it. It's just very basic, not a lot of bells and whistles. But we're going to put one on each and every site. And then I'm going to see if I can interconnect the sites. And so when you type something in, not only will it show your screen name, it'll show what site you're speaking from. I think I can do this, but if not, then there'll just be individual little chat rooms on each site for anybody that wants to have a discussion. Now, let me find this Russia article. For some reason, that one wouldn't come up. Because now that I brought it up, I gotta. All right, I'll go look for it elsewhere. Russian nuclear. Were they nuclear? Crypto. Okay, this looks like the real deal. Here we go. The average crappy employee leaves work early, online shops on company time, and gossips about their coworkers. Does that sound like you? Or me? You know, the average crappy employee leaves early, online shops on company time, and gossips about their coworkers. I used to tell my boss, I said, you know I came in late today, so I'm going to leave early to try to make up for it. Okay? You know, depending upon the boss, sometimes they'd go, well, that seems fair. You know, at other times they'd go, shut up and go sit down. Reeves. Yes, sir. Now, that was a bad employee. Oh no, that was a crappy employee, according to this article. But a really bad employee attempts to hack the supercomputer at the top secret Russian nuclear warhead facility where they work in order to mine cryptocurrency. So we'll finish with that in a minute, but the thing that it got me thinking about was for them to project how long it's going to take to mine the last Bitcoin. There's quite a few moving parts. Number one, how many people get into the business of mining, and number two, we can't forget Moore's law about processor speed. But if someone is using a supercomputer, I mean, yes, I'm going to answer my own question. They could mine at a rate that, you know, mere mortal computers couldn't even come close to. So that would change the whole thing. So this is bigger than just hacking into a nuclear warhead facility. In early February, several engineers at the All-Russian Research Institute of Experimental Physics in Saratov lost their jobs and likely their future freedom when they attempted to connect the institute's supercomputer to the internet. This triggered a security alert that led to their arrest. The workers' goal was to use the system for crypto mining. I guess the salary of a nuclear engineer just wasn't cutting it for them. The offending engineers will face criminal charges. Apparently they aren't the first to risk time in a Russian prison in exchange for some of their employer's sweet processing power. Other companies have caught employees trying to mine on their advanced computing systems. Indeed, crypto mining is on the rise all over Russia, possibly due to Vladimir Putin's chagrin, or maybe not. The Russian president has had something of an on-again, off-again relationship with crypto. In June 2017, he met with Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, one of the world's most popular cryptocurrencies. He seemed pretty high on crypto for a few months, but by early October 2017, he was publicly linking it to money laundering and terrorism. And then just 3 months later, in January of this year, 2018, he called for the creation of a national cryptocurrency. That's got to be the biggest flip-flop I've ever seen. We go from money laundering and terrorism to a national cryptocurrency. No doubt, the newly arrested engineers are hoping Putin's relationship with crypto is on one of its upswings when it's time for their sentencing. If not, he may use their case to set an example of what happens to criminals who mess with crypto. We can't imagine that it will go well for them. Yeah, I think you got that right. All right, in the big world of tech today, I guess we've all seen Mr. Obama's portrait. They were talking about it on the news last night. Honestly, I guess I wasn't interested. So I'm going to subject you to it. I guess this is like a big deal. Every exiting president goes to get this portrait. Is he a flower child or those pot plants? I mean, what's up? Oh, this commemorates when he took out Osama bin Laden. He's in camouflage. Oh. I mean, that night, he literally did everything but come on the screen in fatigues or in camo or in khakis with a little black grease stuff under his eyes and go with a AK something in his hand going, "We got bin Laden." I mean, he made it sound like he was on the ground with him. I'm sure he probably was in spirit. So, this is all very interesting. Well, I'm sure it's very interesting to some. Michelle is unrecognizable. Now, are you referring to... You're referring to the one on the right here? Yeah, if you showed me that picture, I would never go, "Oh, that's Michelle Obama." I would recognize him. I guess that's a recent photograph, maybe? Yeah, it's just not good. Fuad says that very good. Man, you are smart. African violets to represent his Kenyan father. Which reminds us of the book. I believe it was called Dreams of My Father. Oh, I missed your other comment up here. Right after the antitrust care waiting to happen, Fuad shared, "It is fundamentally wrong to control the production, distribution, and sale of all food." I agree. Now, if you're a benevolent king or a benevolent despot, then I suppose it would become a problem until the next king came along who wasn't so benevolent. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And yeah, it's worrisome, but I guess we'll get through it. We've been through worse, I'm sure. Speaking of Amazon, here they are again, cutting hundreds of jobs in a rare move. Shedding hundreds of corporate jobs, most of which are in the company's retail division, the part in charge of selling stuff to customers. An exact number has not been announced, but the report says that it's expected to be several hundred at the company's Seattle headquarters and hundreds more elsewhere. And yet they're building this new all these cities are fighting over getting this new distribution center, I guess it is, with more than 566,000 employees. Now think about that. Out of 566,000, a couple hundred get fired, which is horrible for that couple of hundred. But it's also kind of like hitting the lottery in reverse if you're the one that gets fired. So they have 566,000 employees, which makes them the second largest employer in the U.S., taking into consideration both corporate employees and the ones working at its fulfillment centers. Its Seattle headquarters alone employs over 40,000 people. I don't think they've made... I haven't seen the decision announced, which city was going to get it. I've seen lots of articles, the short list, and the really, really short list. I'd hate to run a city beholden to a corporation. You should be beholden to the people only. Yeah, that's true. And a podcast I listen to regularly, there's a fellow, Merlin Mann. I listen to a podcast with him and Dan Benjamin called Back to Work. They're in the iTunes podcast thing. And then Merlin does another one, I think on Sundays or whenever, with John Roderick. And that one is called Roderick on the Line. Merlin is the magic sauce in both podcasts. Although Dan Benjamin and John Roderick are, very interesting in and unto themselves, but on the last Roderick on the Line, in the downtown area of Seattle, wherever the Amazon headquarters or something is, the tower, I don't know, they built this, what John calls a monstrosity, these glass balls. I guess we could probably find a picture on the internet. And inside the glass balls, they got permission from the city to build it because it was so big. And they put like a forest or something inside of these bubbles and these meeting rooms. And they got it approved by the city. And then once they opened it, only then did they reveal to the city that, well, it's not for the people of Seattle, it's for our employees. And the city put up such a stink that now I think they do one day a week, for like 30 or 45 minutes, they do tours for the public of these spheres. You really should go listen to, I think it's not the most recent Roderick on the Line, but the one before it. And if you read the show notes, you'll find the one that's about, it'll talk in the show notes about the Amazon spheres, these glass bubbles, these monstrosities. I don't know. We'll try to find a picture here later. Brian. Hey, Brian, sorry about that radio trade yesterday. I mean, it ultimately did what we wanted it to do. It just didn't do it in the manner that we had hoped that it would do it in. I think I still got it right here. Yep. We had, well, it came down first, then it ran back up just enough, 26.71.50, and then it came down, and this is where it did here what we wanted it, thought it could do here. But it struggled. I mean, it did go down. On the first move down, it went to 26.56. $56.50, and we thought it would make it to 55. So instead of being 4 points, it was more like 2.5. You didn't take it, Brian. Good for you. Brian knows a good trade when he sees one, and that one just came a little bit short. Now on the ES, which way we're leaning today? Well, let me look at this week's zones. This looks just like last night when I was doing the alerts. I mean, now these fibs, where did we draw these fibs from? These are price extension fibs. Yep. So you're doing from this low to this high, back to this low. And it gave us a 38% extension. And it's been very weak since then. See, right here you're going to run into resistance, and right here you're going to run into support. So there's, I mean, you could eke out a trade, perhaps, say from boy, if you got it at 55, you got to be out by 57. You might catch 58. Yeah, 55 to 57. But the way this thing's coiling up, I mean, any suggestion of which way it's going to break is, no matter how convincing they might sound, it's a guess. Because the market hasn't done anything yet to show its hand, except roll sideways. It's oscillated above and below, but see, it's coiling, it's getting tighter and tighter, so the swing is coming that will knock it out of the park. Now, some people would tighten it up like that. Other people would say, no, you got to do it like that. Just always do it the same way, and you'll figure out what's right for you. Now, it could ping pong back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right down into here, and then break. It could also continue to waddle sideways. So again, I mean, if you really want to trade the ES, you should use the indicators to get a trade set up that takes you north, but you're still going to run into that resistance of 58.59. And if you go short, you're going to run into the support here at this trend line, at this low. My best suggestion right now, unless you're trading, bigger time frames or something, or swing trading, I would definitely look at another market right now, because there's no clearly defined trend at all. I mean, this is the absolute absence of trend. So I'm not gun shy just because yesterday's trade didn't go. It did what we wanted it to do. It just didn't do it in the way that we wanted it to do it. So that's yesterday's stuff. Yeah, I would look at. We're getting ready to go through the markets here in a minute, so maybe you see something else that looks better. Alright, what else we got? Wayne Mike said something about moving into Forex. Have you found an honest FCM? The ones I've dealt with are not ethical from my standpoint. Well, for what? If we were going to do Forex, I may not have this platform set up, but we would. He says that every now and then, but are we going to start trading currency pairs? Yeah, I don't foresee that. I don't foresee that happening. It's a huge market, and it's not that we. The reason we don't want to get into it is for what you just asked. Have you found an honest FCM? Even though I'm sure there are plenty of honest FCMs to whatever degree there is, but it's a dealing desk that you've got to deal with, and the big thing is no commissions. Yeah, but you got to cover the spread, and they make the market right there on that desk. The FCMs are known for. It doesn't matter what trade you take, they'll always take the other side because they control the dealing desk. Yeah, they can let you win every now and then, and that's what it is. It's winning, okay? Because it's controlled, it's manipulated. It's even worse than the stock market. See, what retail traders do through an FCM, when you hear people talk about the Forex market being this $1 trillion marketplace, it all sounds real good, but the banks who are moving the majority of that money back and forth, that constitute that $1 trillion, trust me, they're not logging on through some FCM on the internet to do that. So the whole premise is a bit misleading. Now, are there people who make money trading Forex? I'm sure there are. I don't personally know one because I've just never ran in those circles, but now we've traded currencies before, and so that's about as close to Forex, I think. Now, the reason I cleared this chart off, we used to be able to get what we got here? Yeah, see, here's some currency pairs. I just don't think I've got this platform enabled because I used to tweet out some Forex trades. Well, look at that. Huh. Well, let me ask Bert. If we can trade them straight through the CME, then it becomes more. Then absolutely, it's something we could dive right into. if we can trade them through Daniels, through, and because this is CME property here. I'll look into that and I'll ask Michael what he was talking about. He was probably just needed something to talk about. See, Brian says the Dow and the NQ are weaker than the ES today. Let's look. NQ. Here's the NQ. Well, sure looks quiet after all the volatility. And what was the other one you said? The Dow. At the end of the day, the Dow and the S&P are going to end up doing the same thing for the most part. You know, this is putting on quite a show here. This is quite a show of force. So if we get above 24,560, you got about, well, you got 40 points up to this most recent swing high. There's the potential that sellers could come in early here because we had a high, we had a lower high, we had a lower high. So if we take that high out here or on the next candle, then you've got sellers that are parked here waiting to take it back down again. Doesn't mean they can, because this buying activity looks pretty strong. The sellers could have backed off, let price come to them so they can hammer it again. But that takes a whole lot of collusion, and then you almost get into the conspiracy theories, and then, oh, they ran my stops at lunch, you know, thing. We don't want to go there. But that's a little window of opportunity, I think, you know. 450, maybe 460, 4560. So you're at 26 now. So, or 4555, and then run it up to 4585. Yeah, 55 to 85. That could work. And you know, you don't have to risk a lot on the trade. You know, just throw your stop right about here. And if you drop down to here, now it's too much risk. But here, look at about $200 of risk. Okay. All right. Let me see, where's my sidekick? Hold on just one second, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I just couldn't drop that for now. I'm just one person. Let's go take a look at the Concierge Trade Alerts. In fact, well, let's have a look at Bitcoin. I always use this one. Alright, so we're staying over 8,000. We had a green day yesterday. Today we're going to walk sideways a bit here. And we'll see. The fact that this sort of a V bottom, which is, you don't see that so often. You see a lot of V tops, but rounding bottoms, or I'm sorry, you see V bottoms, but mostly you see rounding tops. Look at all the volume on the day that this thing turned. Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, but that's what makes it so exciting, yeah, right? Oh, did that thing just go 55 to 85? Well, it did. Ran past it. Well, jolly good. Sure, somebody took that trade. Congratulations. All right. Not an overly exciting recap here, but we're going to go through it. Take a screenshot. Because we do the good days, the bad days, the ugly days, and all that. Because that's the truth about trading. You know, I get get emails like everybody else does. I get on their list, and sometimes I rarely unsubscribe because I always like to know what they're up to, but whoever they are, you know. So if you want to take a screenshot, go ahead. This was what went out last night. But you'll get an email about what an incredible day they had and blah blah blah. Then you don't hear anything for 3 months or more, and then you get another email about what a great day they just had. And so my question is always, well, what happened in between? You know, absolutely, I respect what an incredible day you had here and what an incredible day you had here, but what happened in the middle? Or I go to a website and it's, you know, highlighting some trade, some incredible trade that happened 6 months ago. That's awesome. But what happened today? So that's why we make it a point, good, bad, or ugly. We just show you, because that's the truth about trading. And if you're going to become a trader, and if you're going to be in for the long haul, and if it's how you're going to ultimately earn your living, then you need to know the truth. I mean, scales are going to fall from your eyes sooner or later. We prefer to be sooner, because if you are well educated, not only in how to trade, but what the trading business is like and what it's all about, the better your chance for success, to prepare yourself, to not have unrealistic expectations. I mean, I talk to people all the time on the phone, and they say, you know, I've been looking around the internet, and you're one of the companies I'm considering. I need you to tell me why you're the best, because in a month from now, I have to start making my mortgage payment and my car payment and all my other bills. You know, a month from now, trading is going to be my sole source of income. So tell me why I should pick you. And I say, I can tell you why you should not pick us. What do you mean? Well, I couldn't sleep at night knowing that you are going to try to learn how to trade in 30 days and pay your monthly outgo, whatever that might be. I hear that all the time, and I just tell them, I go, that's so. They hear a voice of, in all the madness out there, when they call me, they hear the voice of reason. At least now they have something to benchmark it or balance all these other offers against. Tell me why you're the best one to get the job done. Well, you're asking for a job to be done that realistically can't be done. So anybody that tells you they can, you should be very cautious. You know, God knows, I wish there was a way that we could teach you everything you needed to know in 5 days like the guy on late night TV, but it's not realistic. So S&P, let's have a peek. On the S&P last night, we said to consider buying 2661. We just finally hit it. Or did we hit it last night? Okay, this went out at 9:45. So that would be 21.45. Let's see what this is. Let's see where we're at. Is the high of this candle exactly 61? 60.75. Okay. So the trigger has not been hit by one tick so far. I know it looks like it does look like it, but if you see right here on the pop-up, the high of that candle is 60.75. So we'll go ahead and just put it up here in case it comes back up through there. $26.61. Okay, and then the sell side of that was 26.43 if the market gave you the opportunity. 26.43. It's going to be right in here, somewhere further down. There it is. Sell 26.43. Okay. The first swing low is at 36.25. So round it up to 37, and that's 6 S&P points at $50 a point. It's $300 per contract available. Okay. And then we get back above the trigger and down we go again, and this time we get down to 34. So that's 9 S&P points. So that's going to be about, this move down is about 450. And now we're waiting to see if it's going to give us some two-sided action today. The Dow, last night we said to consider buying 24,650, which hasn't triggered yet. 24,650 is right there, right on the red line, the horizontal red line. See it? 24,650. And the sell side of that was 24,475. See how similar that looks to what we just saw in the S&P? You're not imagining things. That's really how it goes most of the time. They will get away from each other sometimes in the midst of the trading day, but by close of business, they're usually. And it's a 10-to-1 ratio. If the S&P is up 10 points on the day, the Dow will be up 100. If the S&P's down 10, Dow will be down 100. There were a couple of instances in the last few weeks where we saw a greater than normal divergence between the two, but I have no doubt it will go back to being that 10-to-1. It has been for so very long. All right, so what is this? Sell 24,475. We're way off. 475. All right, 24,475. All right. 475. We made a drop. Well, this drop right here, the initial drop, took us to 391. So that would be 75. They call it 80 points. At $5 a point, it's $400 per contract available. Okay, we get above the trigger, down we go again. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. And we dropped from 75. We hit a low here. From 475 to 379. It's almost 100 points. About 450 per contract. Long side hasn't triggered at 4650 yet. If we catch a late rally, it certainly could. Just always look left. When you cross the streets, you got to look both ways. When you're trading, you only have to look left. There it is. Moving on up. All right, the Russell. Consider buying 1494, which we are approaching. And the email said last night to consider selling 1478 if you got the opportunity. And you did. 1478. $14.78. Well, that's just enough to tick you off, right? There's a swing low here. 76. That's 2 points. All right. John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. I'm sorry I didn't come on earlier.
Oh, that's quite all right. I know you have things going on there. In fact, can you kind of bring the audience up to speed on your thoughts for today and give me just 2 minutes here?
Yeah, actually, I started off with a bit of a bang this morning, and I had to take a break just to go. I had a little bit of a health issue the last couple of days, and but I'm kind of back on recovering right now. Anyhow, this morning, last night or just yesterday afternoon, I actually called the correction. I said the correction looks like it's starting. And if you remember, I said I was a little bit worried about Monday afternoon petering out, if you like, or losing momentum, which it did. And it was quite, it came down pretty sharply during the night. And it was up around 6 this morning. 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we were down about 180, And then I think I picked a bit of a rally off that, and we rallied back to about down 100 or down 90, and then it came down again. We sold that high, short of that high, came down again to down on more than the actually, and the Nasdaq was down about 50 or so. But it looked to me like it was going to bottom, and I like the fact that it rallied back, cut its losses in half before going down again before the open, kind of gave me the hint that we were going to actually end up going up today. So we've basically been buying dips all day, and Twitter, which I have been mentioning on the show, is kind of it's a must-hold type of situation. Twitter gave the last couple of days, Twitter's been going sideways, and but it took off this morning. It actually opened a bit lower, but it took off. And I'm working with a new thing now. I've been trying it out here the last few days, sort of since the turmoil of last week, and it's just a way to try and avoid getting on the wrong side of the market. And so Twitter went with a buy this morning, and we had this fantastic day so far. It's up to $2.50. We actually sold it at 33.5 or so. It came back down to 33, just bought it back, and right now it's almost sure going to break out this afternoon, and it looks extremely bullish on the chart, on the daily chart right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we make new 52-week highs here before the end of the week. And get up around. I mean, this thing looks like it wants to go to 40 right now. So it's really, and it's taken a long time for Twitter to really get going. I actually put a tweet out this morning calling some of these kind of no-brainer buys. That one of them. I mean, how do you think Google or Microsoft or Facebook feel today? They probably feel pretty stupid they didn't buy Twitter when it was down to $14. They probably could have got it for 20. Now it won't go for less than 40 or 50 probably. And some other examples, the one of the best examples, when you have a very high profile IPO, they can get knocked down sometimes in their first year or two. In fact, it happened to Google, it happened to Dell, it happened to Microsoft. And it happened to Baidu. Baidu had a huge IPO and went all the way down to $4. And today Baidu is $250 or so. It's been up to $270. Baidu, they might have split it, but it opened at 15, went down to 4.5, and all the way up to 270. Baba, and same to Facebook. Facebook fell from 45 on the opening down to 8, down to 17.5. We actually call that low on Facebook, and we call most of these lows on these things. Nvidia had a sharp pullback in 2016. We call that one at 27, and Nvidia is one of the other reasons I thought the market would go up today. Nvidia sort of struggled in the last couple of days. It's got a barrier around the 235 area. It's got a lot of resistance there. But just like you and I were talking about yesterday, about how a little bit of a dip would help build a better base for the market to rally off, and we sort of get back into this climbing a wall of worry type of scenario. That's what seems to be going on right now. And it certainly, look, I mean, when you're down, let's face it, we were down a couple 100 points overnight almost on the Dow, down pretty sharply on all the indices, and look at us now, we're positive on all of them. That's pretty impressive, and it certainly bodes well for the rest of the week now. And it portends a possible upside breakout, and obviously if we get above certainly 233, 234 on the Nvidia, that could give the market a good lift. The semiconductors have taken off, starting to pick up again. Maxim looks quite interesting here, pulled back a little bit more than some of the other stocks, but it's coming off its lows right now. Just getting a buy signal on Maxim right here as we speak. Now, when I say that, I would sell it if it broke down from here. But for now, it's a potential hold because of the possibility of being taken over or some sort of an upgrade or something. So the other thing on this morning, we put the grains popped up last night, and they were around 1,001 this morning. We said go with the grains, and the beans got up to 10.13. I think the last stock was put on was at 10.09, so we might get stopped out. But we peaked at 10.13 so far. But the grains are definitely. I mean, the fact that we're over 1,000 on the beans now, after not being there for several months, is pretty impressive. And also the coffee looks like it's looking, possibly ready to go up substantially, and the sugar is also doing the same thing. So, and on the metals are acting, quite well. We've had a pretty good rally here in the last couple of days. I said there might be some back and forth, and the gold stocks are off a little bit from their highs, but I would be very, very. I definitely buy gold stocks if they start going to new highs from here. The new highs above the last couple of days. And I also warned that the VIX might break down from. We actually held the VIX overnight and made a nice profit on it. That was kind of a little insurance policy, like I was talking about on the radio yesterday. And it's actually starting to give a bit of a buy again, the VIX. So it might imply that there's a bit of a pullback coming in the market. But looking at the VIX, the way it's gone down off the recent high, it feels just in the same way as we think the market's going to break to the upside off this consolidation. The VIX, although it's having a little rally now, if it breaks down further, one of these days or hours, it could just go into quite a big plunge, maybe down to 45 or even lower, and that could provide a really big rally in the market if that happens. So far, so good in terms of what we were talking about yesterday about the potential for another leg up about the same length as what we had on Friday through Monday afternoon. I think you're in line with the same idea,
Right.
And we'll see how it goes.
Do you see all this negative press that's coming out on Amazon?
No, well,
it's via the whole Whole Foods thing has become. Now I don't know if they engineered this or it's just falling apart. We haven't seen them make a lot of mistakes. I mean, Google comes out with things all the time, products and ideas, and they pump a lot of money into them, and then they shelve them because it didn't work out, or it didn't work out as well as they thought it would. Amazon, I don't. But anyway, Whole Foods, the employees are crying, and the suppliers are rioting in the streets. It's. Fuad said it really well in the chat room earlier before he left. It's an antitrust thing waiting to happen. What they're doing, Whole Foods, is they're starting to charge their suppliers all these different fees. And I won't go through the whole article again, but I'm sure you'll pull it up later. They've got to agree to work with two outside firms, one that takes pictures of their products and the other that allows them to come in and do product demonstrations. They got to pay to come in and do product demonstrations so that they can sell them in the store so that Amazon can make money. But it's crazy. And if, a lot of the suppliers are starting to refuse to fulfill orders because originally, there was minimum orders in place. Like if you're a supplier in Portland and you're shipping to, I don't know, Boca Raton, I think that's the example they used in the article. You've got the cost of your merchandise and you've got the cost of the freight to get it there, and Amazon will no longer pay the freight. So the guy said if somebody, in the Boca Raton store, if they order one case of something from me, I might incur, $12 in shipping. But yet Amazon is only paying me $8 for the product. And so it doesn't make sense. And so it's really because Whole Foods was always about letting the managers at a local level, source, organic products and other things, from the local economy. And so it was good for everybody. good for the growers, and good for the people that wanted to eat healthy. Well, they're being squeezed out. On top of that, they're charging them some kind of annual fee. If they sell more than $300,000 a year to Whole Foods, they have to give them a 3 to 5% discount. I mean, it goes on and on. It is, it's like some kind of totalitarian regime that Jeff Bezos is setting up. I mean, he's trying to change how the grocery business works, because it's kind of worked the same for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? It's the article. I have to say, I said this earlier. I know that he and I don't see eye to eye on politics or moral values, but when it comes to business, I've had a lot of respect for the way he has slowly and steadily built this company. You know, not overcompensating people. I mean, the higher ups get stock options and those types of incentives and bonus pay. But the last time I read an article on it, and it's been a few years, the second in command at Amazon, his annual salary was $350,000, which I know is a lot, you know, compared to the median income in America. But for the second in charge of like one of the world's largest companies, they're the second largest employer in America. But that guy's well taken care of, you know, with bonus incentives and stock options and all this other stuff. So anyway, it's making me wonder, is this happening because of things that they're trying to, part of it's being laid off on the new ordering system that Whole Foods rolled out before Jeff bought it, but there's more to it. Yeah. If you just Google Whole Foods vendors upset, something like that, you'll see what it's all about. Okay.
Well, it doesn't need to be hurting the stock at the moment, and isn't
that amazing? You know.
Yeah, Amazon actually stock looks extremely bullish. It honestly looks like it's headed for probably maybe $1,700 a share, based on the way it's kind of looking right now.
Have you ever bought any of the products made by Annie's Homegrown? I know they sell crackers and cookies, and they might be into the cereals. I don't know, but the packaging makes it look like, you know, it's, you know, some startup working out of their kitchen kind of a thing. I mean, that's how the packaging is designed, right? But in this article today, it's Annie's Homegrown is actually General Mills. Yeah, and I'm sure probably in fine print it says that somewhere on the box. Probably by law they have to put it there. But for the average consumer just walking by, you know, looking for something maybe wholesome, natural, maybe good for you, boy, talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's right there on the shelf. And Amazon has raised the price for premium shelf space, eye-level shelf space, and so the smaller retailers can't afford it. So at eye level, you're going to see stuff from the big companies like General Mills, disguised as Annie's Homegrown. So, well, you know, the market is actually pretty quiet today compared with what we've seen in previous days. I mean, we're just getting some consolidation here.
It's kind of getting back to normal. You know, stocks like Facebook were being a bit on the weak side. But the drug sector is acting really well today. There's a couple of drug stocks, 2 or 3 stocks that are doing extremely well. Jazz is one of them. Loxo is another. Loxo looks really, really good. Just a second. It's had a terrific day today. It's up about $6 or $7, and it looks very, very. It looks like it's going to a new high. This stock. AGIO is a very interesting looking stock as well. And the LABU in general is recovering. And I'd say that the drug sector is certainly going to take another shot at getting up towards the highs. So a little bit, I guess the VIX popping up here is putting a little bit of a damper on the market right now. It's not a lot, but it may be just a fake out or a head fake, because, you know, I think having having come from behind as well as we have today, the odds of a continuation or reasonably firm close would be fairly high today. And I think if that happens, you know, we're with the holiday coming up next week, we're probably going to rally into the end of the week.
What holiday we got coming?
President's Day.
When is that? Next Monday?
I think so. Yeah.
Huh. So here's the VIX. So this is called the Fear Index. Maybe someone in the audience maybe doesn't understand. What can you talk about that for just a second?
Oh, sure. It's the Fear FVAR index. And it's also a volatility index. So the more volatile the market is, the more the VIX goes up. So when we were very unvolatile a couple of months ago, or a month ago, going into this high, the VIX got down to very low levels. But it started to pick up. Actually, about 2 or 3 weeks before the trouble really hit, which was a fairly good sign that something was coming. It's kind of interesting because when Ray Dalio was talking at Davos, he basically, there was this buying mania right after Davos. If you remember, after Trump's speech, there was a 200-point rally, and it looked like the market was unstoppable. And that was when that rally failed. That was the beginning of the trouble. We had the buying mania on the Friday, and then on the Monday, the Dow went a little bit higher, and nothing else did. And that was the beginning of the down week. And right before that, Ray Dalio, who is, there's always some big wig. It's either Buffett or the guy who used to run Pacific PIMCO, Bill Gross, that analyst, the one we talk about, she called the bottom in 2009. The Dow was at 6,000 or 660, somewhere down there, 6,000, and she said it's going to go to 4. It happens. It's amazing, but there's always some really one of the biggest guys in the world usually says something that makes the top of the market. And I think there was some magazine covers as well. I think Fortune or somebody had a Dow 30,000 on the cover or something like that, which is usually the kiss of death when they put stuff.
Yeah, right. Athletes who get their face on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That's yeah, another kiss of death. You're right.
Yeah, right. And remember, Bill Gates in 2000. The new millennium, the first interview on Larry King in the new millennium, that was the top of Microsoft that day, literally. First day of the year. So it's the first day of the millennium. So anyway, that's pretty much the roundup for today, Dwayne. We'll touch base tomorrow. But thanks for the invite.
Well, John, thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, all the best.
Have a good one. All right, bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, we're going to go to our good word for the day. We started yesterday with part 1. Today's part 2. 222. Brian, were you asking about this Dow thing here? Is that what you're asking about? I guess it's been quite some time since you asked that question. And now, also, Brian, you said, did you see the news alert? Israeli police asking AG to indict for 2 charges of bribery. No. Who is that? Whole Foods is on the same road as the store chain, Fresh and Easy. Yeah. And, I miss Fresh and Easy because it was like not even about a half a mile from where I live, and we would shop like Europeans. Europeans tend to go to the market daily for fresh things, and we would do that. We would go to Fresh and Easy, and one of the reasons we went, we knew all the employees, and if you go someplace every day, and they were small, and it was different and unique. And every day at 6 o'clock, they would shift the times up sometimes, but the employees would always tell us when they were going to do it. You could go, and anything that they had on the shelves in the whole store that was going to expire on that day. Now, we all know that whatever the expiration date is on the grocery store shelf, typically you have a week to 10 days after that. But legally, once it passes that date, they can't sell it. So they would put it in this one specific cooler, and everything would be 50% off. We ate for half price, literally every meal for, I don't know, 3-4 years. It was amazing. And then if you were bored about 9 o'clock at night, because I mean, they're 3 hours away from having to throw this stuff away, so you might get an 80% discount. We have 2 freezers in our garage because of Fresh and Easy. Just buy stuff and throw it in the freezer. And honey, I don't think we're ever going to eat all this stuff. Well, you never know. She's a prepper at heart. Okay, so Netanyahu is asking the AG to, if you throw a link, and if you got a link, you could throw it in the chat box, Brian, and I'll bring it up and I'll share it. Okay, yesterday, sound financial advice. No, the police are asking to indict Bibi. Okay. Let me just... Israel asks AG to indict. Okay, let's sort of bring it up. AG tells police to hold off on Netanyahu graft indictment. Okay, that was 2 days ago. You must have come across something current. Jerusalem Post from yesterday. Let's see what it says. That's not even an article. That's just pictures. All right, if you come up with a link, you can shoot over to me. Sound financial advice, part 2, Genesis 41, 35, and 36. Gather in all the food produced in the good years, otherwise this famine will destroy the land. Joseph gave Pharaoh some sound financial advice that we would all do well to live by. Gather into the royal storehouses all the excess crops of the next 7 years, so that there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come. Otherwise, disaster will surely strike. Genesis 41, 35, and 36. How did Pharaoh respond? Joseph's suggestions were well received by Pharaoh. You're making wise choices for your future if you practice these 3 scriptural principles. And remember, he doesn't need your money. What he's looking for is your obedience. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, so there will be enough food in my temple. If you do, says the Lord of heavens, I will open the windows of heaven for you. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. Try it. Put me to the test. It's the only place, I believe, in the Bible where God says you can test me on this. Number 2, Save. Number 1's tithe. Number 2's save. Discipline yourself to save a percentage of your income. Don't worry if it's a modest amount. Just make it a priority. If you don't, you'll spend it on other things and never achieve your long-term goals for college, retirement, or doing God's work. Because ministry costs money. And number 3, get out of debt. First tithe, second save. Number 3, get out of debt. After giving to God and saving for the future, strive to pay off all your financial obligations. Stop paying the bare minimum on your credit cards. By not repaying them in full every month, you end up paying much more than you should. Put as much as you can towards eliminating outstanding debt, even if you have to do without a few things for a while. Sacrifice. See, this is why obedience is better than sacrifice, because if you aren't obedient, you will end up sacrificing. In the long run, you'll come out way ahead. Sound financial advice from the Bible. Can't get any closer to the source than that, except in your prayer closet. All right. Dow and the S&P 500 are officially down on the year at this point, although the Dow is climbing. And yeah, the trigger. Was that what you were asking me for earlier when you asked about the S&P? Maybe that's what it was. Well, the sell side was, when the alert went out last night, the email said, if you have the opportunity, consider selling 2643. And if you have the opportunity, consider buying 2661. So the high so far has been 63.50, 2.5 points. All right, that was our good word for the day. We've covered the markets. We've talked a little bit about crypto. We heard from our dear friend John. We've shared some headlines, and now it's time to get busy. Dubai issues license to cryptocurrency firm. Well, let's take a gander at that, and then we'll bid you farewell. The Dubai Multi-Commodities Center, also known as the DMCC, is a government entity established in 2002 to enhance commodity trade flows through Dubai. DMCC Free Zone is the largest and fastest growing free economic zone in the United Arab Emirates. We perform a range of roles which continue to position Dubai as the preferred destination for global commodities trade, and DMCC as the world's #1 free zone, offering 0% personal and corporate income tax. Wow. Today, more than 14,100 multinational corporations and startups call DMCC home, with almost 90,000 people living and working there. The center has started issuing licenses to allow firms trading in cryptocurrencies to operate from its free zone. DMCC's executive director for commodities told the publication that the center is beginning to facilitate a market in cryptocurrencies, which he acknowledged is unregulated at this point, citing that firms looking to set up in the zone would be considered on a case-by-case basis. DMCC is a member of the Global Blockchain Council, which began as a Dubai Smart City project and has 46 member organizations globally today. The center's director of Innovation Hub said that a global consensus is emerging which favors classifying cryptocurrencies as commodities. Head of capital markets for Abu Dhabi Global Markets Regulatory Authority told the publication on Sunday that the regulator is reviewing and considering the development of a robust, risk-appropriate regulatory framework for crypto exchanges and intermediaries, emphasizing that no time frame has been set at this point. The first license for the free zone went to Regal Assets, a gold trader and storage provider with offices in the US, Canada, and the UAE. The company added cryptocurrencies to its product line at the end of last year, offering brokerage services and an insured high-security cold storage service for Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Classic, Ripple, and Dash. According to Bloomberg, Dubai gold trader Regal is the first company in the Middle East to get a license to trade cryptocurrencies. The company will offer storage of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies in a vault located in DMCC headquarters. They do know this is ones and zeros in a computer, right? Okay, I just want to be sure. I got to look into this free economic zone. See, there I go, learning another something on this radio program today. Free economic. I could use some free economic zone. Let me write that down. Free economic zone, or FEZ, as we like to say. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in today, whoever you are and wherever you are. May God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.